Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video we're going through the trade targets for round 7 of the BBL SuperCoach season, in which there is quite a lot of just indecision, I would say, in general with regards to who to trade in. A lot of the top people are trading in Matt Wade, who I can understand it to a certain degree. I may even back that trade in, given that it opens up a little bit of the doors. I may just explore that quickly whilst I'm talking to you guys. But I just don't know with Matty Wade whether he's going to be able to go off, because he hasn't really been able to set the world alight, I would say, in terms of Supercoach scoring this year. He is averaging only 32 for the year, but it does enable me to get Nessa or someone else of that ilk in over Webster. So maybe you just go with the punt of Matt Wade and then just hope that it works out over anyone else, as I would have 188k left, which would enable me to get that of Michael Nisa. So you could punt him in, I guess, over anything else, and that would get me a lot more I guess, guys that are playing more games in general. It gets me that extra game and gets me Nessa over Webster, who Webster could play well, but yeah, that might just work better. So I may join people, but I'd still really like the likes of McDermott over Wade, but Wade is very, very cheap at this point, so 115k for a keeper that's going to play probably 4 times, compared to a keeper that's going to play 2 in Philippi, I reckon is the choice. But anyway, I hope this works, as it does. Matt Wade, you can see here, top trade in the top 1% of 14% traded in, which is 78 people. Glenn Maxwell traded in by quite a lot. I still don't like that role. He's batting 6 and also not bowling. They also have Tom Curran coming back into the side over Dan Lawrence. So Glenn Maxwell gets to 5, but his bowling stocks get even worse, I feel like. So I just feel like that was... You saw how that could have easily been a 1 or 2 game for him. Very, very, very easily if Curtis Patterson takes that catch. And I know he ends up 113, but there was a lot of luck involved in that. So I just feel like with Glenn Maxwell, he's going to fail again, and you're going to end up seeing him in and around that. Again, he could even miss it. He could easily get rolled easily against the Renegades, and then suddenly end up on a glorified 15 or something like that. So he obviously is in really good form with the bat, but we saw him give a massive chance away early on. Chowdhury, understand this one. He's an all-rounder that bats 5, that's going to bowl 2-3 overs, I suspect, especially with Wacker leaving as well. Salamanca, or however you pronounce that name, I guess. Alongside Shea Hope leaving, he could go up 1 in the order, but I sort of expect Jewel to come in. But yeah, I expect him to bat 5 against the Sydney Thunder and bowl. And he looks like a safe choice at this point of the season. So I'd be looking at that for those people in the top 1 to 5%. That's a guy that I'd be looking at. Michael Nisa, he looks back in form, and he looked like he was going to rip the game open. Who did he play? He played at the G against... Who did he play against? Who did they play? It's a big question. I forget who they played. So let's just go to game day, and then we'll go to the BBL matches for round 6. And you will see they played the Sydney Thunder, and he realistically should have blown that game to pieces. That's how well he started the game off as. So yeah, that's why I'd be looking at potentially him. And I like that trade in, especially because he's got that batting status as well. So you can hide him in the batters ahead of all of those other sort of iffy all-rounders, etc. like that. You can hide him there and present yourself with the bowlers. Nathan Ellis, I understand this as well. Loading up on the Hobart, although there is a little bit of a weather watch for the second Hobart game, but it's not as bad as what the other weather watches we've seen in the past have been, and the one that we have tomorrow night. Bo Webster, understand this as well. He did score 40 with the bat, and he does have 3 overs, so I do understand this as well. I really do like his role. I'm just worried that with Tom Curran coming back in, because Tom Curran is suspected to come back in this week, does Bo Webster's role turn to nothingness Basically, does he just bat 3 and bowl maybe 1 over? Because it does look like Stoinis is opting for himself over Bo Webster at the moment, or himself in the more crucial moments over Bo Webster. So, Stoinis could have a slight hamstring awareness. At the moment, it looks like just a cramp. But maybe they result to Bo Webster bowling an over or 2 of Stoinis's, and then just, out of the 7 or so overs that I think Bo Webster and Stoinis combined, 4 go to Curran per se, or something. But even Curran is probably just going to replace like a Mark Steckity or a Peter Siddle or something like that, I think I said in the game review. So Bo Webster might still have his overs there available to him. Mitch Owen, I don't like buying in on a batter only on a single. That even though he's in really good form, I just think that he could easily go and score a 1 or a 2, and then suddenly it's like, oh, you've got this guy leading into the double. That's why I just don't like buying batters on singles, especially at an inflated price that Mitch Owen is at. So that's why I'd stay clear of him, as it seems like my whole thing is like stuffing up. Are you going to... There we go. I'm trying to find what is actually... Hussein's 152. Of course they did that. It just sucks how they do that. And just inflate these guys' prices to make it difficult. Like, they're just making everyone's time more difficult. Like, he's come in as an import, as a replacement import, missed out on in the whole draft process, and they price him at a higher price than some of the other imports that actually got selected. I just find that just terrible. I think he should have been priced at the 117.5, as I think that's more respectable. Like, they priced Joe Clark at 117.5, who was a local replacement player, but Hussein comes in 4 weeks later, or whatever, 5 weeks later, and he gets priced 35k more. What's the thinking behind that? What's the transparency behind that, I would say? As well as what's Garton's price as well. I just want to check that, as well as I think he might have been... George Garton's priced at the 117. So they've drawn different prices for the same effective thing. I just find that the transparency there absolutely terrible around that issue there. And they've done it all season, which I think is really, really poor. And you've got guys like Riley Meredith next down on the list here. Riley Meredith at 8th most traded in the top 1% at 9.5%. I understand this, trying to get a cheap guy that's going to do this, but I'd say pay up for the big guys in terms of dropping your big Perth guys. I think that you're going to see potentially Mitch Marsh when he comes back next round. And you're also going to see potentially Aaron Hardy when they play their next game, both bowling alongside their 5 quicks or 4 quicks and Ashton Agar, their spinner. I just doubt that the likes of a Cooper Connolly is going to be able to get overs in. If you're getting potentially an extra 3 or 4 overs out of Mitch Marsh and Aaron Hardy, if you get that type of outlook alongside the quicks bowling potentially 16 plus, you have no overs spare basically. The quicks plus the spinner, I should say. So that's where I think that lands. And that's why I'd probably look at spending up and getting the Spencer Johnsons, getting the Michael Neeses and guys like that. Tommy Rogers, understand this. You just got to cover him off with the way he's playing at the moment. Will Sutherland, understand this as well for those that missed out. And I think he's just going to be the backup captain at the end of all the chaos that happens tomorrow night. Dan Christian, understand this, a cheapie, but he does have a really good role, so I'd say he's the only guy sub about like 130k that I'd want to trade in, basically. I haven't looked at anyone else sub 130k, basically. So, yeah, he's the only guy. Understand the Chris Jordan. You could probably almost hold off with Chris Jordan. No, he's got a 10 break even. Probably can't hold off there. Ben McDermott, understand this as well. I just am able to get Michael Neeser and Spencer Johnson if I go Matthew Wade. And Matthew Wade's opening and also keeping. So as long as Matthew Wade can just hold his hammies hold fair, then we're in the money there. So that's why I think I'm going to go Matty Wade over the likes of a Benny McDermott, just because I think the outlook is a lot better with a Michael Neeser there than a Bo Webster, who Michael Neeser plays 3 games rather than Bo Webster 2. I should say that. Michael Neeser plays 3. Bo Webster plays 2. That's the simple outlook there. Fading Matt Short at this point in time, even if he's coming back, just because I feel like I can grab him in a week's time. After all the chaos and in round 8, I don't know if I'll go too heavy on the Hobart players. I think you can start dropping like the Finn Allens and the guys like that, and maybe even a Benny Dwarshish you can drop for like a Matt Short, etc. Jamie Overton, I think, has only got maybe 1 or 2 rounds left, so I can understand those trying to trade into him. I'm just going to fade him just because I think at that price, if he fails, it's just sort of another hassle, I would say. Harry Menenti getting some love just because he's a loop option that plays late, I think, the last game of every single round, I think. So there's that option there as well for those that are wondering. Spencer Johnson, Sean Abbott, Jason Berenoff. I'd be sticking clear of all of these 6s and per Scorchers guys just because I don't think they get on. Alex Carey is a rough one to trade in because he could easily just opt out of something. Of a game, you could see that happen, giving him some rest before Sri Lanka or something. But also, he's a good keeper to have. But then again, they play 3 games, and he could play all 3. But I could easily see him opting out of the last round, etc. Renshaw, Kerr, etc. I think these guys are just being traded in because of a good round last time. And Hasnain could be an interesting one. I just think at 152k, I'd rather go for the short products, the almost all rounders, or the best bowler in the comp, in my opinion, is Spencer Johnson. So I'd rather go there than other guys there. But anyway, I think that's a good round out of the trade targets for round 7 and sort of the reasoning behind a little bit of it. I wouldn't be going too hard on the Hobart players, to be honest with you, just because I think that they are guys that could easily have 1 game in their double, but at least they get 3 games, so they're sort of like trading in a single guy, I guess, for the remainder of the tournament at least, and at best they play their 4 games and you get the leg up there. But just don't trade too hard. I wouldn't be trading in the batters at that point, at this point of the season, round 7. So I'd be trading in the bowlers for the Hobart Hurricanes if you do have the need for the bowlers and the space there. But anyway, that is the video there going through the trade targets for round 7. If you did enjoy it, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when content is released in the future. I don't think there'll be a video on Saturday just because I'm out early. I leave at like 7:45 or something like that. But there to play my game. But to play my game of cricket, but there should be returning content on the Sunday, so I'll see you guys then. If you are listening on Spotify, give me a follow and a 5-star rating over there, and I'll see you guys on Sunday, I think, for there'll probably be 2 BBL SuperCoach, BBL game reviews, I guess, because I think one of the Saturday games will be rained out, but anyway, I'll see you guys then. Bye, guys.